Good morning, Sophie.
Morning, Kat. How are you?
Not too bad. How has your year been so far?
Not too bad. We've been busy. It feels like we never stop, to be honest.
Oh, brilliant. So, you're an Irish charity dedicated to the care of hamsters, which is something I'd never realised was in the country.
Like a lot of people.
So, kids get animals, they get dogs, they get cats and hamsters, and of course, come the middle of January, they're probably bored of them and want to get rid of them. Would you find that?
Yeah, so because hamsters are nocturnal, they're not great for kids' pets because obviously the kids are asleep when they're up. So because when the kids are awake, the hamster's gone to sleep, there's no interaction and they get very bored very quickly.
Isn't it mad? And they're lovely little
Yeah,
animals, in fairness, aren't they?
they are. They're like, I love them, obviously.
So, Sophie, you're co-founder as well of the charity, which is, I suppose, that shows your dedication and your love for them.
Yeah, so there's myself and Steph. She's based in Athlone,
Ah, brilliant.
and we made the Facebook group in I think it was 2020, so during COVID, and then about a year later, we were like we could really start something here and started talking about developing it as a charity and got Tina on board, and Tina's just been an absolute angel. So yeah, it's just kind of snowballed from there, and I'd say we've rescued over 300 hamsters by now over the last 3.5 years.
And what do you do with them all? I suppose rehouse them, or that's one of your
Yeah,
main aims, I
so
suppose.
so on our website, like we create profiles for every hamster that we bring in, and then there's a very exhaustive adoption process on our website, and then we adopt them out, and everybody's happy.
And you're a communications advisor, which I suppose helps in your job.
Yes, very much so.
Oh, mother of God. So you're specially kitted out with your own shed in a thigh, and on top of that, you have your own pets as well. Have you other pets aside from hamsters?
Yeah, so I just have one cat, but
Okay.
she stays inside with me, and all the hamsters are out in the kitted out shed.
And the cat never bothers with them. He's not partial to a bit of hamster for lunch or anything.
No,
No.
no, she's not.
So, I mean, there's a lot of work to it, in fairness. Are you ever bombarded? Like, if you go and rescue X amount of animals, like, have you ever got too many hamsters to deal with?
I mean, yes and no. When we kind of over capacity, or like we're kind of busting at the limits. It's because of a litter that's come in, or we've gotten. Say we had in 2022, we rescued two little Roborovski dwarf hamsters, and 2 weeks later, eight more popped out. So it's times like that where we're like, right, how can we like reorganize ourselves and make enough foster spaces? So that's our main goal this year, is to expand our foster network so that we can rescue even more hamsters.
And on top of everything else you do, you give advice on how to look after hamsters as well. You have a Facebook page and probably a website as well, have you?
Yeah, the website is probably like, not to toot my own horn, but it's probably one of the most exhaustive like educational websites I've like ever come across, having written it all out ourselves. But it was just a case that we there was no like one-stop shop to get all your hamster information, all the proper care information. So we just started compiling everything we knew from research papers, anecdotal stuff, like experience, all that kind of stuff, and put it all in, all onto our website. So everything's broken down, like enclosures, wheels, diet, behavioral issues, illnesses are on there. Yeah, there's quite a lot of content on there.
Yeah.
So
Because, I mean, as you said, there's a significant lack of ethical care awareness. Like, people think they can just ram a hamster into a small cage and that's it, be done with it. But they do need space, don't they? Because they are
yeah,
stocky enough
exactly.
little creatures.
Yeah, I mean, like a lot of people don't realize that like hamsters can run like 7 miles a night, so they need a suitable wheel to do that on, and the wheels that come in these small cages, they're way too small, and can create like curvature of the spine. There's so much that
Okay.
we promote these, like all these certain products, and it's like every product we promote, there's like multiple reasons why it has to be
Yeah,
XYZ, you know?
yeah, because you can actually see if you imagine putting a hamster that's maybe say 5 inches long or 6 inches long, and you're putting him on a wheel that curves too quickly. Of course, there's going to be a bow in his back, and he's trying to do
Yeah.
his running. So it makes sense, but people wouldn't think of it. Of course, you wouldn't think of it unless you're told.
No, exactly. Yeah. And that's why we exist.
It's a great. I'd say it's a very rewarding group as well. You know that you can, and when you're so dedicated to them, and you think everything you do, you're actually helping along the line. Because people, in fairness, you see people with dogs and cats and things. Cats, to me, they're always watching, and they're scheming all the time, I think. But people put dogs and things into pens, and they're not really designed for dogs. They're probably too small. Dogs need X amount of stimulation as well. You can't just chuck them in there and leave them. But same with hamsters, I'd imagine. They probably get depressed if they're left in some place that doesn't really suit them.
Yeah, exactly. So there's two main behaviors that kind of demonstrate stress in hamsters, and that's bar climbing and bar chewing. So if you have a cage that's too small and it's not got enough enrichment in there for the hamster, they'll start climbing and chewing, no problem, like every time without fail. So
there's always something, isn't there?
Always.
But it's great. So if people want to check out, Sophie, how to care for your hamster, or to get onto your website, is Hamster Info Ireland is handy enough.ie, and there's lots and lots of information there, isn't there?
Yeah, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, and we're on Patreon as well, so that people can actually become members of the charity. But yeah, we're everywhere. If you just Google Hamsters Ireland now, it's just all us on Google.
Oh, fantastic. Well, listen, Sophie, I'm afraid we're out of time. Sorry we couldn't get a hold of you earlier, but we could have had a longer chat. But thanks a million for taking time to chat to us this morning.
No problem. Thank you for having me on.
Have a great day, and keep up the good work. Mind your furry friends. All right, take care. Bye now. Bye. There we go. That's Sophie Laverty there, and of course hamsterinfoireland.ie, and she sounds like a lovely person, and a very, very caring kind of person as well. So check out their website if you get a chance. hamsterinfoireland.ie.